Everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So a Democratic senator is requesting an investigation into the 2018 background check that was supposed to be performed of Mr. I like beer a little too much, Brett Kavanaugh. He was then a candidate, of course, for the Supreme Court, and he's now a sitting Supreme Court justice. But Sheldon Whitehouse, he's a senator, he is a former prosecutor and current member of the Judiciary Committee. He's making this request of the Justice Department to look into what was done back in 2018, or what, more importantly, what wasn't done. This is related, of course, to the sexual assault allegations made against Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh, as you probably remember, was accused by several different people of drunken and inappropriate behavior when he was in high school and in college. And Dr. Christine Blasey Ford testified at his confirmation hearing in regard to her alleged experience of attempted rape by Kavanaugh. Now, at the time, Republicans were in charge of all facets of the government, as well as the Justice Department, and it's been widely speculated that their investigation was cursory at best, if not completely for show. In fact, Whitehouse sent a letter to the Justice Department asking them to determine if the FBI performed a, quote, fake investigation rather than a sincere, thorough, and professional one. And let's be real, anyone with eyes and ears who doesn't watch Faux News Channel or Newsmax or any of those other BS shows, which really should be listed as a drama series, we all knew the investigation was complete and utter bullshit. The FBI didn't even bother to interview Dr. Ford or Brett Kavanaugh himself. And since then, it's come out that there are other people out there who say they have information to share about Brett Kavanaugh with the FBI, but they literally couldn't get anyone at the entire Federal Bureau of Investigations interested in hearing what they have to say. Some of these people even hired attorneys. They're represented by attorneys. And those law firms couldn't even get one receptive member of the FBI to interview their client. That's how little they wanted to know. In addition, lawmakers discovered that the FBI never bothered to assign a point person for the case. So that was one issue. It's like nobody knew who to refer anything to. Then they finally created a tip line where members of the public could call to leave their information about Kavanaugh. But then senators were trying to find out, okay, what information was gathered and what was done with that information. But according to Senator Whitehouse, quote, this tip line, and he put that in quotes, appears to have operated more like a garbage chute, with everything that came down the chute consigned without review to the figurative dumpster. So Whitehouse is now asking for answers about, quote, how, why, and at whose behest the FBI conducted a fake investigation. And he wants to know if the FBI's standard procedures were violated. And while there's no guarantee that the FBI will agree to reopen the Kavanaugh investigation, the newly appointed U.S. Attorney General, Merrick Garland, could force his department, because remember, he heads up the Department of Justice now. So it's no longer Jeff Sessions or toady Bill Barr. So Merrick Garland could force the Department of Justice to at least answer questions about what happened in 2018 and why it appears to have been a cover-up. Because until now, the FBI director, Christopher Wray, he was appointed by Trump. Biden has indicated that he's going to keep him on, but he's been stonewalling Congress. Whenever he's asked about the Kavanaugh investigation, he stonewalls. The only thing he would tell them was that Donald Trump's White House limited the inquiry, but he wouldn't elaborate any further than that. And it should also be noted that Christopher Wray is a former classmate of Kavanaugh's. They went to Yale Law School at the same time, and he's also a fellow member of the uber conservative and far, far too powerful Federalist Society, which is responsible for seating a lot of these conservative judges. In fact, probably all of them. But even beyond Kavanaugh's potential sexual assault allegations, there's a lot to unravel in this guy's past. And based on everything we know and that's in the public sphere, he has no business holding a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court. His testimony before Congress appeared to be just littered with perjury. And he sat there snarling and snarking at members of Congress. I mean, he absolutely does not have the temperament for the job. And that was before he broke down in tears. I'm going to assume that's because it's the first time in his life that he wasn't given his way and faced any opposition given his white privileged male status. But even prior to that horrid display, he had 83 ethics complaints filed against him. 83. And guess what? Our judicial system is so screwed up that you cannot discipline a sitting member of the Supreme Court. It's literally not allowed. So just like with Trump, you have to impeach that person first and remove them from the Supreme Court, just as you would have had to impeach and remove Trump for him to face consequences. Then and only then can a sitting Supreme Court judge be held to account if the party in power even gives a damn to do their job and take action. So think about that. A Supreme Court justice could go murder someone, and if they happen to be conservative and Republicans are in power, they could literally choose to look the other way, as they did with Trump for 4 years. They could just choose to ignore it. And there's not a damn thing anybody could do about it. But, tell me again about how brilliant the framers were and how we have to abide by every word of the Constitution because they were so intelligent and they had such foresight and they knew what was best. But I digress. There's far more than this to be investigated when it comes to Kavanaugh. There are claims of hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt that he racked up, and some posit that it's due to a gambling habit. A great deal of that debt also was miraculously wiped out, just paid off, wiped clean, just prior to his nomination by Trump to the Supreme Court. And the source of those funds, how he actually paid that off, and I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, was just paid off instantaneously, and no one knows who paid it off. It still is a mystery. So Senator Whitehouse actually asked him about that during, not that specifically, but he asked him about this potential gambling issue during his confirmation hearing. And in fact, he read an email that Kavanaugh had sent to some of his friends in 2001. And this email, I'm going to read it to you. This guy has a bad temper, that he has a potential gambling habit and a potential alcohol problem, and that he is less than honest and ethical. So Kavanaugh's email to his friends stated, quote, "Apologies to all for missing Friday, good excuse, and growing aggressive after blowing still another game of dice." And then in parentheses, it says, "Don't recall. Reminders to everyone to be very, very vigilant with regard to confidentiality on all issues and all fronts including with spouses. So this guy clearly has no problem with lying to your spouse. This guy clearly lost his cool, became, as he put it, aggressive because he lost in a game of dice, and he's telling everyone to lie. He's telling everyone to keep everything confidential on all, quote, all issues and all fronts. What does that mean? What does that mean? What exactly is he telling everybody to keep on the down low and to lie about, including to their spouses? If a true investigation is done of him, I have no doubt what will come out is going to be explosive. I have no doubt that what comes out about Kavanaugh is going to be vile and repulsive. Just from the way he acted in his confirmation hearing, you could tell he has a sense of entitlement. He has a poor temper. He is just an asshole. There's no other way to put it. He's just an asshole. This guy absolutely has no business sitting as a Supreme Court justice. And it's not just about, oh, he has a bad temper, oh, he has a poor disposition. If this guy has a gambling addiction, if he owes people money, that puts everything at risk. How do we know if a case comes before him and somebody offers to pay off a debt that he won't rule in their favor? Anybody who can be bribed, anybody who has things sitting out there like that, whether it be secrets, whether it be gambling debt. I mean, this is why when anybody is being appointed to a major office, they look at their history, they look at what they owe, they look at if they have a large amount of debt, because it's a potential problem. They could be bribed. They could have things held over their heads, their secrets potentially exposed if they don't rule in the right way. We need to know this, not just for the pleasure of knowing that this guy is a scumbag and having him impeached and removed just for the pleasure of it, just because Mitch McConnell stole this seat, but which is true, and he did that, but also so that justice can be served with anything that comes before the Supreme Court. And I would think and hope that even conservatives would want that. So anyway, guys, I'll keep you posted on this. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.